Nexus Blitz. It has died a death sadder than Eris at the end of the first disc of Final Fantasy VII. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII. I mean, I don't blame you if you haven't. It's a new game. It was only released in 1998. But anyway, I'm hoping things went well for Nexus Blitz, because despite my complete inability to actually call it Nexus Blitz, and I'm staring at a script and trying very hard not to actually refer to it as Nexus Siege almost constantly, probably one of the most boring and uninteresting game modes Riot Game has ever released, second only to Legend of the Portal King. I really liked Nexus Blitz, even in all of its broken glory, even when literally every single minigame was programmed to completely bone you in every way, shape or form. Having to try and run King of the Hill behind 3 enemy towers, or having Battle Royale literally end on the one tower the enemy has that cannot be targeted. So you end up just throwing yourself at it desperately, knowing you are going to lose, just like... But there was something still so bizarrely endearing about it. The way I described it to my friends who weren't sure about playing it was basically just, it's like ARAM, but for people who don't want a random champion. And if that didn't work, if that doesn't sound great in its own, then it's just like Mario Party, but for League of Legends. And I think both of those things are pretty perfect in terms of describing this complete and utter mess of a game mode that makes absolutely no sense and apparently decides it wants to just favor one team over another if it feels like it. And it is a merciless god that does not care for your tears. But now it's gone, and I'm kind of sad because I didn't get to play nearly enough of it as I wanted to. I got to play quite a bit, maybe like 4 or 5 hours worth over the weeks that they actually had out, but scheduling and stuff, I had to travel a bit, health issues, and just making videos, which takes time, meant that I didn't nearly get to play Scuttle Racing even remotely as much as I wanted to. I did not get to see as many 18-minute games where both Nexuses would just get the hell up and just start running, inting it down mid lane, trying to kill each other. And I don't really know how it's gone. So, right, okay, obviously Riot, they took the game mode off the client, and the way they left it, they thanked us for beta testing the game, but there's no real guarantee that it's ever gonna come back, and that's kind of sad. And I'd like to hope that just because they put a whole lot of effort into making it clearly, even though the map was mostly just reused assets and stuff like that, that they would probably, hopefully, decide that, well, we've put this much effort into it now, we might as well make a full game mode. But honestly, it's kind of hard to tell a lot of the time with Riot whether or not they actually consider something a success. And I very much know that Riot, up until very recently, and a lot of you guys probably know this as well if you've played League for a long time and you've read articles or you keep up to date with just the goings on with Riot Games. They've been very, very much against releasing new maps and game modes to the players because they're very scared that players are going to be spread too thin, that queue times in normal games and ranked games are going to be too long because people are too busy playing URF or ARAM or threes. I mean, if you look at it, ARAM was a really, really popular game mode before ARAM was even released. Like, people would just go into custom games and you could have it set to all random, and it was horrible. You'd go into a game, everybody would go random and go mid, then one person would die early or they just didn't like their character and then they'd just leave. And because it's a custom game, there's no punishment for leaving, so now you are down a player, and people would just run off into other lanes and farm top lane or bot lane to get ahead because there was nothing stopping them from doing that. And it took maybe like 3 or 4 years for Riot to actually be like, maybe we should make an ARAM map because people are getting kind of angry that ARAMs are just a mess. It took that long for that to happen. But honestly, I never really understood that philosophy on game design. I know that Riot have always wanted to never really change the way their game looks, because in their own words, they wanted the game to be instantly recognizable, which is a large part of why The only customizable thing that we actually have in the game is skins. There's no custom announcers or custom HUDs or anything like that that maybe change up or personalize the way a game looks for players. But honestly, I never thought it was a big deal. If people want something different and all they have is Summoner's Rift to play on, do you know what they're going to do? They're just going to stop playing the game. Variety is the spice of life, and I'm sure I don't need to tell some of you that maybe after like 2,000 or so games on Summoner's Rift, you kind of don't really mind a change of scenery once in a while. And that's kind of why I was excited for Nexus Blitz, and that's why I was excited for Odyssey Extraction. I play this game as, at its core, a job, and I just love the game anyway. And I could play Summoner's Rift another 1,000 times and it probably wouldn't bother me all that much. But if there's something new that I can experience with all of the characters and all of the stuff that I love in the game, I'm gonna get hyped for it, dude. Even if it's a broken, terrible mess like the magical, terrible, amazing garbage thing that Nexus Blitz was. All of these things, it was a mess, but it was also a masterpiece, you know what I'm saying? So, I guess that our lives are now in Riot's hands, but honestly, listen, we give them a lot of flack a lot of the time, but Nexus Blitz was still a blast. They've had Tower 1 on LCS, Odyssey Extractions augments make me feel like a Doombot, and I really, really like that. And yeah, honestly, I think, and it pains me to say this, in terms of stuff they're trying to do for the players, they're doing a pretty good job right now. They just better not mess with that because I will start throwing uppercuts. Now, for the time being though, Nexus Blitz has passed on to the Shadow Realm until the next time we meet though. Preferably with a cooler new map that isn't reused assets and less RNG events and hell, maybe even some new ones. F in the comments, boys. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you all. And there's just like one quick thing. You know, I gotta get this off my chest. He Okay, see you guys later. Bye.